time on Allies or Enemies, we are talking about Downforce, along with its 2 expansion packs, Danger Circuit and Wild Ride. Downforce is designed by Rob Daviau, Justin D. Jacobson, and Wolfgang Kramer, and is a re-implementation and slight streamlining of Kramer's 1996 game Top Race, which is an update of his 1980 game Niki Lauda's Formula One, which was a decidedly more upscale version of his 1974 game Tempo. And while the quality and the art has decidedly improved, the sleek gameplay hasn't strayed too much over the last 40 years. This is still the same tight racing betting game you know and love, or that you don't know yet, but we'll tell you all about right now.
The game starts with an auction as each player bids on which cars and powers they will use. Then each turn, players choose one card from their hand and move every car on that card, starting from the top down, whether it's theirs or not. Cars must always move forward and they can't jump over other cars because they are cars. But otherwise, this system leads to a lot of opportunities to purposefully put opponents' cars into some sticky spots. Also, when the first car crosses each of the 3 betting lines, players choose which car they think will win. And that's pretty much it. Players keep playing cards and moving cars until everyone crosses the finish line or cards run out and cars run out of gas. And then points are awarded for finish positions plus bet payouts minus whatever you paid in the starting auction, and a winner is crowned and soaked with champagne.
On paper, Downforce might sound a bit simple, and it is, but there is much more than you might think under the hood. The different player powers make a big difference each game. The base starts with 6 powers, with a bunch more added in the Danger Circuit expansion, and these will definitely switch up how you play. Also, the different tracks each play very differently. River Station is straightforward racing, pretty much straight out of the 1980 version, and Marina Bay, while a bit prettier, also keeps it simple. Danger Circuit adds a few more twists with the Neon Crosstown Speedway, which has traffic jam-inducing loops, and Switchback Pass with its rough and rocky passing lanes. Finally, Wild Ride expansion ups the ante even more, adding Savannah Stretch, which has cars getting caught behind slow-moving animals, as well as our personal favorite, Aloha Sands, which adds ramp jumps over shark-filled waters. Together, it is a nice mix of variety that really does change the race every game, although that does mean purchasing the other 2 expansions.
Restoration Games is built around the idea of taking childhood faves and souping them up to make them actually as good as you remember them, and they do a pretty good job here. The little plastic cars are especially great, as are the track boards, which are surprisingly thick, and all of them have terrific little artwork details. They're nice little touches like the ramps on the expansion board and the sturdy player markers. On the iffy side, however, the cards are decent quality, but could maybe use sleeving, and the score sheets, while super functional, feel overly big, and because they're only 1 per player, we're a little afraid that they're going to run out sooner rather than later, but they are easily erased and reused if you want to. At a pretty low price point though, this game mostly exceeded our expectations.
Downforce can play up to 6, and to be honest, more is probably better. Because players are constantly moving everyone else's cars, you are always involved and interested, no matter whose turn it is, and a game with the full player count can be chaotic fun. But that doesn't mean lower counts are bad. At 2, the game turns into a kind of chess match that is still a lot of fun, but in a very different way, with much more calculated decisions. The 2-player also brings down your hand size to just 7 cards per turn, and has players put their 8 speed cards on the table to use once per game, which adds some interesting new decisions. Think of 4 to 6 players as a party game, and 2 to 3 as something a bit more akin to Flamme Rouge.
Downforce has become one of our go-to racing games. It is ultra light on rules, but it's got interesting decisions every turn. The betting aspect also adds a lot to the game, as it means that a crafty player can bet well, lose the race, and still win the game. Betting on yourself's always the bigger windfall, but even if you're falling behind, you still have a stake in the race. Downforce may not have the depth of something like Formula D or the ultra-tight battle of Flamme Rouge, but it does a nice job of bringing something a little bit different to the genre, and it's not too hard to see how the system is still going after 40 years and a lot of iterations. And that is it. Let us know your thoughts on Downforce or any other racing games you love, and as always, please do click on that like icon and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we will see you all next time for another game.